Welcome, I'm Vi, I'm e-commerce marketing expert at Omnisend, and today we're going to talk about email and social media and how these two platforms tools can work together to help you grow your email subscribers list and how it can help you grow your social media following in return. So good point to know is that there's almost 5 billion, with a B, people on social media channels, and they're spending on average 2.5 hours a day on those channels. So most importantly, around 60% of those people said that they either follow brands or they research brands on social media. So that presents you with a huge opportunity to convert those people into your subscribers. Because when you have social media, even if you have 60,000 followers, 1 million, you don't actually own that contact with them really, because social media can just shut you down at any point and that's lost. So it's so important to get those people into your email subscribers list, because then you have the data, that direct contact with them that you can build on. So that's what we're going to talk about today, how to approach this, how things can work together for your own benefit. So who am I? Again, I am Vi, e-commerce marketing expert at Omnisend. I have over 7 years of experience in e-commerce, over 9 years of experience in marketing altogether. And I also have a degree in behavioral economics, which I think perfectly captures my fascination with data, merging it with technology and social science. So I'm definitely going to share some things from that background as well. A couple of things to know, this session is being recorded, and you will receive the recording in a couple of days. It's going to come to you via your email. We're going to include all the slides as well. So if you think that you missed something, don't worry. It's going to be in the email that you're going to receive in a couple of days. And if at any point you have any questions, at the bottom of your screen, there's a Q&A tab. So drop your questions in there. I'll make sure to keep tabs on it. I'll answer those questions either as I go or at the end of the session. We also have Ira, who's going to help us monitor the chat. So if any questions about Omnisend specifically arises, you can pop it in the chat, and she's going to help you with that. So let's go. Okay, our agenda today. We're going to talk about email and social media, kind of like the bird's eye view on how these two interact with each other and what approach we could use with those two. We're going to talk about how to build your strategy in 6 steps to get those social media followers into your email subscription list. Then I'm going to share how to leverage Omnisend in that process and what we can help you do with it. And also at the end, we'll have the Q&A session. So if any questions we will not be able to answer as we go, I'll try to pick those up at the end. So is email marketing still a thing? I wanted to start from this point because if you go on any professional social media like LinkedIn, where we have email marketers, business people talking about things, if you go to forums or other places, every year there's that another clickbaity thing saying email marketing is dead, SEO is dead, now we have AI, and this is so clickbaity and it can get confusing. And that's why I wanted to bring your attention to the fact that email marketing is not dead. And because most of you are Omnisend users as well, I'm sure you know that. But just so we're on the same page, there's so much value in email. That's why relying solely on social media is just inadvisable now. So consumers are showing a growing interest in email offers and updates. So what I mean by that, last year at Omnisend, we looked at 24 billion emails that were sent out, and we got some really interesting numbers I wanted to share as we move along. So email open rates jumped by 6%, meaning people are opening more emails that they're getting. And that reached 26% there. So for the 4th consecutive year, there was growth in open rates of emails. However, click rates dipped, but don't be alarmed because click-to conversion rates have actually grown by 27%, meaning when people open their emails, they're clicking with intention to buy. So that just shows us that people are keen to buy through your email offers. That's why we're funneling the followers from social media into your email list. And this is a quote from our VP of Growth. And he likes to say that when you build an audience on most platforms, it's similar to building on rented land. The rules can change without warning, leaving your marketing strategy vulnerable. Again, that example, you can have 10 million people on your social media accounts as your followers, but do you actually have direct contact with them? What if that social platform disappeared? What if they banned you? What if something changed? Would you still have the same access you have to those people? So just keep that in mind as we go through the steps and strategy today. So when we have social media and email, the good approach is to look at it that social media excels at awareness and engagement, and then email is great for conversion. One of our really good clients, they say that in terms of ROI, even if we spend the same amount or much more on social media or any other type of advertising, email always brings the highest revenue. So in terms of ROI, what can you expect from email ROI instead of any other place? ROI is disrespectfully high. Again, looking at our data from last year, on average, you can see $68 for every dollar spent on Omnisend. So there's huge potential there in email marketing. But it doesn't have to be a fight between the social media and the email. They can actually work together and it can be integrated. So why should it be integrated and what can you learn from one another? So first of all, it maximizes the reach when we integrate social media and email. By cross-promoting content to multiple channels, you can reach people and get most out of your content or marketing campaigns, right? So you're maximizing your reach, your awareness. Then it helps to expand your email list and social following. By effective email marketing and social media integration, you can grow your subscriber base and social media following simultaneously. So you're getting the followers and you're turning those into email subscribers. But if you talk about your social media in your emails, you might grow your social media following. Then through integration, it enhances audience engagement. So omni-channel strategies, that's what we're always talking about. When you share a message on multiple platforms, if people might not see it on your social account, but they will see it in their email and vice versa. And then insights from one platform help boost marketing efforts on the other. And I think it's very often overlooked point as well, because the way I look at it, if I see that a certain type of content resonates with people on the social platforms that I have, I would experiment with that in the email as well and see if that resonates with that audience, or maybe a certain segment in my email list. And if I know that certain newsletters or campaigns or a message in automated workflows, if that resonates with my customers more than others, then I would try to replicate it in the social media environment as well and see how that works out. So now let's go down to strategy, how to grow your email list. Heads up, this is going to be a little bit theory heavy. So just stay with me. We're going to make this through and I will be stopping along the way just to check the Q&A box to see if you had any follow-up questions. But I think with that strategy, there's no point in even doing this because often I've seen the solution, the strategy is they'll just post something. We'll just have a story up, add the link. This is how you're going to grow our subscriber list. And just by having a link in your account bio, that doesn't really cut a strategy. It's basic hygiene in this step. So bear with me. We're going to make this through. So we're going to talk about 6 methodical steps that we can do. And if you feel like you want to do more creative stuff, this is too much or anything, either hire someone to help you or just, it's time for some discipline and just get it done. Because if you don't employ strategy and methodical steps, then we won't not be able to replicate things that already work. We won't be able to analyze things, analyze the steps, see where we succeeded or maybe even missed the mark. So yeah, let's talk about those 6 steps. So first you need to do the audience and channel audit. Understand what's happening, where are we going, what do we have? Second is define your subscriber value proposition. I'm going to talk about this more, but it's like, what are you promising your subscribers? What will you get? What's the long-term promise here? Then create an appropriate lead magnet. And we're going to talk about like what else besides the discount can we have here. Then the fourth step is align the offer with the buyer's readiness or the subscriber's readiness. I'm going to talk about the differences and similarities of these as well. Then set success metrics. Again, we have the strategy, we have the steps. How will we know if we succeeded, if we hit the mark or we missed the mark? So next time we can optimize and do better. And lastly, the final step is, of course, creating an action plan, because strategy is great. Now we need to execute. So before we go in, I want us to briefly define what your social media account, what bracket does it fall into? And this is very simplified, okay? Just a couple of bullet points. But when I talk to my clients, we try to understand, okay, where are you at right now? And then depending on that, we will take one or the other direction in building the strategy. And if you're somewhere in between, I think intuitively you'll see what will work better for you. And if you're still doubting, then I would recommend going into the early stage account strategies and see, okay, this is performing really well. We can definitely like upgrade certain steps. So again, very simplified, but just so we're on the same page here. So the early stage account, usually under 10K followers, it has less than 100,000 total organic impressions. So the impressions is how many times content was showed to users on the platform. And it usually has less than 200 interactions per post. So that's likes, comments, shares. Then established account, I will call accounts that are 50,000 or more followers, more than 100,000 total organic impressions. Again, how much was the content showed to users? And it usually has more than 500 interactions per post. So that includes likes, comments, and shares. So keeping those in mind, again, if you're somewhere in between, unsure, let's just get to the end of this. Maybe you'll find yourself somewhere. So the first step is audience and channel audit. We're starting with established accounts, but I'm sure if you don't have that yet, you can definitely learn something from this as well. So the purpose of this step is to pinpoint who you're trying to turn into subscribers and where they hang out. So do you have an Instagram account, TikTok, Pinterest, other platforms where you're on? The key question to ask in this step is, which posts drove the most saves, shares, or comments in the last 90 days? And the outcome that we want at this step is identify your best performing channel and shortlist of top engagement topics and content types. So basically what we're doing, we're taking all the data here, and then we're looking, we might have assumption that, oh, I have 60,000 followers on Instagram, but somehow on TikTok, it's super engaged under the posts, and you might not have as many followers. So getting that real picture, this is going to be your source of truth in a way, where you kind of see, okay, no more assumptions. This is the platform. This is the type of content. This is the topic. These are the topics that are performing. And then if you're an early stage account here, you can do reverse engineering of your competitors or similar brands. So by looking at their top posts, what people are commenting, what pain points do they have, and even though you will not have identical ideal customer personas, things will overlap, and you'll have a good starting point of like understanding, okay, maybe you should go into this platform, maybe you could go somewhere else. So being strategic of where you're at and like where your competitors are succeeding. And a pro tip is to use tools provided by each platform, because most of them have literally free tools for you to spy on your competition. So for example, Meta Ad Library, TikTok Creative Center, go in there, look up your competition, see what they're talking about, what's the message, what's the format. I'm sure you'll get some great ideas to start with. Then the next step is subscriber value proposition. The purpose of this step is to define the lasting value subscribers receive over time. The key question is what subscribers will continually get. So for example, an outcome is a one-sentence promise, often can be used as a headline further down the road, is get weekly style inspo and VIP flash sale alerts. So this is a promise you make to your subscribers. And this is a good thing to have in your brand book, even for the sign-up forms on your website. When you clearly know, so what's in it for my subscribers when you're inviting them, so your message stays consistent, but also you can evaluate, is that a good value proposition when I'm asking for an email? And then check yourself, are you keeping your promise that you made to your audience? If you're an early stage account, then I would focus on the immediate universal value, which attracts cold audiences. So, people don't know you. They're not very interested in the long-term promises that you can make. So they're probably not even looking at you. So you need to give them something worth their attention. So for example, it could be free skin type quiz or maybe a home barista brew chart. And so instead of having that long-term thing, you can definitely promise that. But we're kind of leaning into the lead magnet now, giving that instant value so people can evaluate you, have a little taste and be like, I like this content, I will subscribe. Or they already subscribed, they liked it, and they will stay your subscribers. So I already mentioned the lead magnet. In this step, we need to the purpose of this step is to give followers a compelling reason to hand over their email. So you made this promise, that value proposition, and now the question is like, what can you offer to get their email? The key question to ask, what incentive feels native and valuable to this audience? Again, remember, if people are coming to your website, they're seeing a pop-up form and they're leaving their email address, they're probably expecting a discount instantly, and that's it. And that's how it works. But if you're getting people from social media, there was a different conversation, different impression they had of you before they landed on your landing page, and that incited them. So just think, what incentive feels native and valuable to this audience? Maybe if you're on Pinterest, it could be a checklist, a guide, just so you understand the platform that you're focusing on and the audience on it as well. So the outcome here is the clear lead magnet plan. If you're offering, again, a guidebook, some sort of help book, then you need to have a title, format, delivery method, look for resources, evaluate what you need to make that lead magnet happen. And don't jump into conclusion that you need to offer discounts, because that can erode your value proposition as a business altogether. And a good way to think about when to offer discounts, for example, your brand is well known in the field, in the niche, and your product is well known, you have solid social proof, and then you can see that most of the time is about getting people to over that hurdle of the price, so you can offer people a discount. You know that it works, so you can use it on your social media as well. A good other reason to use discount is when you sell consumables with high repeat purchases. So, I mean, coffee or supplements, because then you can actually give people that incentive to subscribe and get a discount and try things out. And there's a high likelihood they will stay subscribed to that business, to your business. So giving that little discount to nudge them is also a good idea, and use it as a lead magnet altogether. But again, if you're established account. And just one last note here. We will not go into the early stage accounts, because I think you should stick with that subscriber value proposition merged with an instant thing that you can give people. So instead of giving a discount, giving them something of value, again, something they can open now and use it straight away. And why I say don't lean into discounts, they could still work for you if you're just starting out. Imagine you're walking down the street and someone's giving you a flyer that has 50% off at the restaurant nearby, but you've never seen that restaurant before. You know nothing about it. You just kind of walked past it. Would you walk in and risk it without knowing the experience, without having other knowledge about the brand? So some people might do it. But I think, and from my experience with my clients, discounts not necessarily work here. I see a question about what are the examples on incentives beside discount. So yeah, we're kind of leading with, again, that's the lead magnet. So what else is your audience interested in? Maybe if you're a clothing brand, you can offer guides on how to take care of certain clothes. Like if it's wool, usually it requires different help. Maybe if it's summer coming up, you can offer guides how to pack a carry-on for 2 weeks. So thinking about what is useful to my audience. How are they consuming content as well? Maybe if someone's coming from TikTok, maybe create a special video or other thing that feels more native to the platform that came, where the person came from. So the next step is journey stage fit. Here, what we're doing is the purpose is to align the offer with the buyer's readiness. And I like to keep this step as the final step because it helps me to check, have I made the right decisions, the right assumptions, to have the right data going forward into implementation. So I'm using words buyer readiness because the ultimate goal is to buy, but you can, at this point, you can use it interchangeably as well to, instead of buyers, say subscribers readiness. So the key question is the follower in awareness, consideration, or purchase stage? So those are the same as buyers, but if we're flipping it to subscriber-focused readiness, awareness means they're kind of like scroll by viewers. Maybe they saw your reel in discovery. Maybe they just discovered it by accident. Maybe they were sent it by someone. Maybe they've seen your brand via boosted ads. So they're kind of like aware you exist. They've seen you there and there. Again, that's for established brands because your content should be reaching others outside your followers, right? Then we have consideration stage. So these people are saving your post. Maybe they're DMing you questions, bookmarking product tags, watching your stories. Those are in the consideration phase. Consideration maybe about your brand, about the quality of your products. They're thinking, they're interacting, not making any moves here. Then we have purchase ready or subscription ready, because sometimes we have followers that are not our email subscribers either. So they're returning to your profile, they're clicking on your link in bio, they're adding to cart from your Instagram shop, they're engaging with you to see content. So these are people who you would assume you're buyers, but they're not yet. And the outcome here is to offer map to a specific stage for smarter follow-ups. Oh, offer a map. There's a little misspelling here. Either way, but to get the data that I'm talking about, you need a social media manager because they're a go-to person to help you understand who is hanging on your social media account. I can't help you with that. Sorry, I can do e-commerce and email, not social media data. But that's the approach. Understanding who is in your account. Maybe most people on your account are just those who browse. They barely interact. Or maybe people on your account are those you're ready to purchase. You're getting lots of clicks through your website, seeing what links do they click if you have more than one. So you're getting that help to understand who's on your platform, and then you can tailor your further strategy, how to turn them into subscribers. And then if you are at the early stage account, then most visitors will be top funnel. They aren't familiar with your brand. So I would prioritize again that education, problem solving, lead magnets before offering that discount. And just building credibility as well, getting as much social proof out as you can. Okay, just checking the questions. All is good. So success metrics and test plan. I know some of you already probably had a really angry, sad expression on your face. Just no, thank you, repel anything that's to do with metrics and setting those things up. I get you. But I think there's no point in having this strategy or even discussing this any further if you're not setting benchmarks to understand how are we going to evaluate whether we are succeeding or not. And especially if you're an established account, you have other things happening and you have other things to spend money on. So how do you know if your investment was worth it, right? So the purpose here is to define what good looks like. And I'm going to walk you through 3 main questions that I go through with my clients. And that's my starting point. You can pick if you want to go with all of these, which I would recommend. You want to pick something that you really understand. So 3 questions. Bear with me. If you have any questions, drop those in the Q&A box. So the first one is what our target email subscriber acquisition cost is. Lots of words, but essentially we want to figure out what does it cost us to get one email subscriber? So we get that by getting total cost of campaign and dividing it by the number of subscribers gained. So you have, as with as with customer acquisition costs, you need to know everything that goes into your campaign monetary wise. It can be paying wages, paying freelancers, your social media manager. All of that goes into that cost of campaign, right? So let's say you spend $1,000 on that, and then you see how many subscribers did you get from it. So let's say you got 400. So your email subscriber acquisition cost is $2.50. And now you're probably thinking, okay, so what's the benchmark? What is good, right? Usually for e-commerce, especially of less pricey items, I would start by $1 to $3. But let's say you're saying you're selling something that's very expensive. So maybe your email subscriber acquisition cost is 100, which sounds really high, but maybe you're selling items that are $30,000 items, then it's a good deal, right? So knowing how much you're actually paying to get a subscriber is a very important starting point. Again, from my experience, depending on where you're at, I would say between $1 to $3. At the beginning, it can be a little bit higher as well because you're still going through that learning curve. The second metric is what's our target landing page sign-up conversion rate? And essentially, we're asking what's the sign-up rate? But because same campaign can have different landing pages, maybe you have 2, 3, 4, 5 different lead magnets, everything. You need to understand that for each landing page, what is the sign-up rate here? So how we get there, we use unique signups and total unique visitors to the landing page. A good benchmark in my experience is, so if you're an established account and you're doing this organically, purely organically, I would say that the sign-up rate could be or should be between 8 and 15%. Again, depending on the industry, have you done this before? Do you have any historical data? But that would be my benchmark somewhere here. And then if you're an early stage account, you're probably going to be using ads. So if you're using only paid ads, I would say the sign-up rate should be between 15 and 30% here. Then the third question is, what's our target welcome flow first order rate? And essentially, we're asking, what's the conversion rate from someone signing up to buying from us? So the way we get there, we look at unique contacts who make their first purchase during the flow. So what I mean by that is your welcome flow usually has the delays in that. How long does it last? If I sign up and I just exit without buying, how long does it take me? A week, 14 days, 3 days? It's your workflow, you know best. So if I so we're looking at the people who bought within that time frame. And then we're dividing it by total contacts who entered the flow. Essentially everyone who signed up because everyone entered the flow. So here I would say the conversion rate, I would start by setting it at 2%, and then you can adjust to that. But that is my experience and also the data we've seen at Omnisend. So having these 3 metrics, have some benchmarks. If you have never done this before, kind of again, eyeball from the averages and see, again, keep track of it, adjust it, and then you'll have your own benchmark on top of that. So the outcome at this step is having that baseline number, having goals, what are we trying to achieve here? And then you probably want to have some A/B testing options as well. Again, landing pages, maybe messaging, whatever you're doing, being strategic and adding metrics to it as well. And then if you're an early stage account, as I said, let's be honest, if you're only doing it organically, trying to get those followers or in general, people on social media, if you're trying to get those into your email subscription list, you'll probably have to pay for your ads. And you're probably thinking, oh my God, I'll have to pay $10,000 and see what happens. In reality, I would say allocate even $100 will be a good test to start with. Maybe start with 300 to really get the pulse of this. But you'll have to pay. Otherwise, it's going to be painstakingly hard and long trying to get this organically. So if I was starting a business today, I would definitely lean into paid ads to grow my email list. Again, you want to own that contact with the customer. You want to own that data. Don't just grow your social media followers and leave it in that platform without having direct access to those people. And I would also recommend tracking first order revenue versus email subscriber acquisition cost, kind of seeing where you're at. So, for example, you pay $300 to advertise on Meta channels, and you're getting 150 new subscribers. Your cost per subscriber is $2. And then you look at the campaign, see how much of those people how much revenue those people brought in, and then see if it's worth it for you. At Omnisend in the reports, you can see revenue generated from the welcome series or any series, and then just check it. Is it worth it? Is the mathing? So yeah, that would be the starting point here. And then the final step is an action plan. If we did the strategy, we'll need to implement it. So it goes, you turn your strategy into tasks. Key question, what must be built in Omnisend and in what order? Again, you'll have other tasks, but for the purpose of this webinar, we're focusing on Omnisend. And the outcome is a checklist. Wherever you use it, on Asana, Trello, wherever, you have a checklist and a plan. For example, it can be create a landing page, create your lead magnet, upload it, have a link, whatever you're doing, have a list and be specific about what needs to be done. If you have a schedule, add a schedule there as well. Okay, so now you should have picked the target social media channel. Now, where you have the biggest chances of getting your followers and turning those into your email subscribers. You have defined your subscriber value proposition. What are people getting? What subscribers are getting from you long term? You have created an appropriate lead magnet for the channel that you chose. Maybe it's a checklist, an ebook, a guide, a video, a mini course, whatever you're selling, you have that lead magnet ready. Then you have decided on the offer. Do you have a discount that's going to be included there as well? What's in it for that person for giving you their email? And then you have set success metrics. We know how we are going to evaluate what's working, what's not working, what is good. And then the sixth, you have created an action plan. I'm just going to check the Q&A tab to see if there are no questions. Thank you, Ira, for all your help. I see a comment that the early 20s say that they ignore emails because they receive so many. That is true. The best way to remedy is make sure you're relevant to them. You're respecting the inbox. Also keep in mind that the last, okay, is that the slide you meant? No worries. You will also receive the slides in the follow-up email in case you're feeling that you missed something. So in regards to, people will ignore your emails. You have to cut through the noise. So make sure you're making an offer. You're following through with the offer, and you respect the inbox. Don't spam them. Fantastic. Okay, so no more questions now. We will move on to the implementation. So now we've done all that work, we're ready. How do we get it to people and see if it works, if our plan actually is valid and where we are at today. So implementation. First, you define your campaign tactics. So what are we going to do to get to our goals? Then create a landing page with Omnisend because we need to send people somewhere. If you're sending people to your homepage, then you kind of just cutting them off, being like, hey, come in, I have this great thing for you. And then they just land in a room where they don't know what's happening. So have a landing page dedicated to that campaign. Again, you'll be able to track how your audience interacts with it. Is it working? Is it not? Etc. Then set up welcome series automation. So you probably have I hope you have a welcome series automation for your customers, but we need to treat our subscribers, our new subscribers, differently if they come from social channels, because we had a slightly different interaction with them. So we need to continue that differentiation, at least in at those starting points of interaction with them. And then we launch, review, and optimize. Is it going to be perfect from the get-go? I doubt it. I hope so. I doubt it, but I still hope so. And then we review and optimize. Plus, people change over time. Again, platforms change over time. Social media, the way we use it, the way we interact with it, it also changes over time. So just keeping tabs on it and then adjusting and optimizing as well. So first of all, we're defining your campaign tactics. I'm going to share 3, and these are campaigns that I've been using for many years, and for this specific purpose of getting email subscribers from social media. And I'm sure you can come up with something else, but these have been the ones that I'm always come back to. And if I'm working with a client, then we would start with these and see how our customers, our subscribers interacting with them. So first, the campaign is Enter to Win giveaway. Very simple. You promise a big plan, a big prize, right? And you say, we need your email. And then you will be able to enter the giveaway, and then you give away the prize. Then the second one is social only promo code for signups. Because as users, as consumers, we're getting wiser. We know that if you go to a website and you leave your email address, you're likely to get a discount, usually 10%. We kind of hope for a higher one, but hey, we know that we'll get a discount. How is your promo code different? What are you offering? Because it doesn't have to be a numeric discount. You can do 2 for 1, or if you buy 2, then you get third one for free. Whatever that is, you know, what is it different? How is it different from what you're offering on your website? And then again, paid social ads. Even if you have an established brand, I would really lean into this solely for that purpose of growing email subscriber list. Okay, and I'm going to share some insights on the last one as well. So creating a landing page. The key elements of a high converting campaign landing page usually is the same. It's a compelling headline and offer. Then you have a clean design, mobile first. Okay, we're on social media and it's on our phones. So naturally people are going to land on your landing page while they're on their phones. So make sure it's optimized for mobile. And then having a simple form. We don't want people getting distracted or anything. The headline, the offer, place to enter their email, contact details, and a button to submit it. And the last one is having a clear CTA. Here it's a very debatable topic. Some people will say, well, if you want something simple and straightforward, we add copy that says submit on the button. Some people will say, well, you need to have that action-oriented, benefit-focused wording as well. And I would say test it and see what works best for your audience. Sometimes adding things like reassurance, like get your guide on the button, on the CTA button, also helps to make that sale for an email, because we scan what's written on the page. So it's reinforcing, okay, if I add my details, I will get this. So test it, see what works. I would probably start with action-oriented and benefit-focused, but you can start with some simple submit text on your button here as well. So now we're creating a landing page. And most of you are from Omnisend, and I hope you have a pop-up form ready, because if you don't, please contact support team and they will help you to set it up, because that's how you get your emails, right? So what you can do, you can simply duplicate the form that you have, one click, and you have a landing page. That's it, that's converted. Or you can use one of our templates that we have ready for you. Pick one, and then you simply need to add your message and add your different visual if you would like that, and make sure you optimize it for mobile. There optimized already, but just triple check with your new message, your wording, everything. Is it still working and optimized for mobile? Next step is customizing it. As I said, you can just focus on the mobile first, but you can do the width, choose different background images. Because people are landing on your website, I would say keep it very simple. Clean forms to start with keeps people focused on like, I want that, I will get it. If you're offering a guide as a lead magnet, you can have an image of it, just assuring people that this is what you're getting when you're submitting your email. And then this point, I will keep repeating myself as we're going along for the rest of the webinar, however time we have, is you need to, after you create a landing page, you need to add a tag to each campaign's form, meaning that you know if there's a form, you know that people came through that form. And then you need to track your subscribers that came from social channels because you will be interacting with them differently, or at least you should be interacting with them differently. You need to use this opportunity to really hone in who they are and have them in the segment. So make sure you create tags for each form, especially for social media ones in this case. And then if it's applicable, select start and end dates, okay? So you schedule it, and if, for example, the end date has passed, you can also set up a message for this landing page that says, sorry, this is no longer available. So even if it's ended, people will get a message, not just a 404 error. And some tips for creating a landing page. So using a two-step welcome form to prevent drop-off. And what I mean by that is, first step is capture their email and your name. So you already captured that, you got it. And then once you press enter now, submit, whatever the CTA was, then you ask for more. You ask for their mobile phone, maybe I ask for their preferences. But even if they don't want to leave that information, you already have their email. And it's always better to have more data on your customers. And these people, remember, they're on their phones. They're coming from social media. They are more likely to leave their mobile number for you. So kind of lean into that and see how that works. You don't even have to interact with them immediately via SMS. But see, you have like 3 months until, well, 4 months until Black Friday, then the holidays. So build up that database, and then you'll be ready to use that SMS tactics, SMS campaigns to get those people back in. Again, you know that they're active social media users, they're on their phones. And then the second tip here is creating a landing page with a Wheel of Fortune. That in itself can be your whole campaign and incentive for people to sign up. And on Omnisend, you can have all the slices as the winning slices. So everyone will get an incentive to submit their email address. So if you don't know where to start, all the strategy seems too much, what I would do, just do the Wheel of Fortune campaign and see how that goes for your audience. Okay, so the little bonus before we wrap this webinar up is using, I still have one more section, so don't worry, using an ad to grow your list. So this comes from our good friend Jesse K from Viber Media. And we will link a webinar where he explained this tactic in detail. So I really recommend you watch this later. But the logic is very simple, but yet is phenomenally effective. So first you get an ad. It's a paid traffic thing. As I said, just spend $300, see what happens. But you have an ad for a giveaway. Leave your email, enter the giveaway. Then you're growing your email list, you're turning people into buyers. Then you have an audience. And you know what audience converts from the ad into buyers. So then you can connect this data. You can connect Omnisend to your Facebook or Google accounts, ad accounts, and then you can create lookalike audiences and start running smart paid traffic again. And this is the loop. You get the same traffic, you know who converts, and you're getting more email subscribers. So it looked like this. You have the sign up now, you have the lookalike audience, created segments, and it was only 14 cents per link click, meaning when people, it was pretty much profitable instantly. We were getting revenue back because people were entering the funnel they're in the welcome series and they're already converting. So this paid up pretty quickly. Again, check out the Jesse's webinar. He goes into much more detail on this tactic. And lastly, the welcome series. Did you send the email? Honestly. So I have audited accounts where people set up this whole leave us your email address campaigns, but they never have a welcome series for people. So it's usually an email, one email with a discount, whatever that is, but there's no nurturing, there's no talking to that person, or people just end up in the general welcome series. Whereas again, the tone is slightly different. It just feels very salesy. So we're gonna quickly talk about how those welcome series differentiate for people who entered your welcome series from social channels and when people entered those series from your website. So first of all, just some key workflows that you should have, I hope you have, again, is the welcome series, abandoned product, abandoned cart, post-purchase, and the customer reactivation. I'm just mentioning these because I'm sure you're thinking, okay, what else do I have, and so on. But we're focusing on welcome series and abandoned product, abandoned cart. They should be more in relation to your website. And to send the post-purchase emails, we need to have actual sales. So that's why we're focusing on the welcome series now. And Ira's gonna link in the chat a link to our webinar where we talk about other workflows in detail. So welcome series is what we all are so familiar with. It engages new subscribers immediately. And traditional example is it's a series of emails introducing the brand, offering a first purchase discount, and sharing bestsellers. Very common practice. It can look like this. This is a standard welcome series. First, you get the discount, then you answer any questions, hesitations, and then remind them of that discount. But if people are coming from your social media account, then first of all, you need to deliver your promise because you promise something to people, instantly, and then as you're following through. So deliver on that promise that you had. Again, second email is show social proof. So think about this. People, if you've done your research, you will know if those people are like close to buying, are they not, who hangs out on your social media. If you're just starting out, then they definitely need more social proof to start believing in you. So make sure you have that email. And in my practice, it goes pretty well. When you deliver on your promise, deliver with extra. So if you promise them a guide, add that discount, get that sale. So delivering on your promise, and then you over deliver. Then you have the social proof. Again, just if they haven't bought from you, giving that nudge, showing to people, hey, you're trustworthy. Then the post-purchase email, and this is a step that a lot of companies, lots of brands miss, is invite the people back into the original platform where they came from. So if someone if someone became a subscriber and then bought, and they came from Instagram, then send an email being like, hey, if you like this, tag us on Instagram, because you know that is their preferred platform there. And if they haven't bought from you, then you can offer a discount in the third email if they opened the previous one, because they're still interacting with you, but maybe now they need that extra nudge. So this is like simplified version, but something that I based on my previous experience with my previous clients. And then a few pro tips here as well. Remember to tag the source of your sign up, and then create a segment for those leads. So you know that you will not lose those contacts and you'll be talking to them directly. And also you'll be able to exclude them from certain campaigns or certain automations as well. So once you have that tag, you create a segment. And then another pro tip that you can also implement instantly is you already have welcome series. And at Omnisend, we have this split feature that you can use, conditional split. So you have your welcome series, you're dragging and dropping that split section, and then you're adding a condition. If the tag is whatever you use to tag those people who signed up, then they go to their own specific welcome series. If the tag is not it, then they go into your general welcome series. So very simple way of keeping things on one screen in one place, and then you can adjust things as well there. So I prefer to handle it this way. You might want to have different automation setup, separate automation setup. So it's completely up to you. So some key takeaways to wrap this up. Your email list is the data that you own. Again, once you have the email address, you have permission, intentional permission from someone so you can talk to them. If you have large following on social media, you still don't own that data. You don't own that contact. So that's why we want to funnel as many people as we can into our email list. Then strategy is a must for growing your list through social channels. Again, just the plan to post a post or a story with a link is just not going to cut it. You know, you might get some subscribers, sure. Can you replicate this? Is it consistent? Can you just leave that strategy going? Like, you need the strategy, and then you'll be able to replicate it. You'll be able to optimize things. You'll be able to build on that. And then treat new subscribers differently. Okay, they're coming from a different point of view. They're coming from having a different journey and interaction with your brand than people who are becoming your subscribers via your homepage. Okay, so just treat them differently. Doesn't have to be massively different, but keep that story, that experience consistent. And again, always tag your signups. Okay, always. So that is this. I'm gonna check the chat and the Q&A box. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Okay. Okay, Jennifer, I see your question. Do you have a how-to for setting up the segments and tagging subscribers from Instagram, TikToks? Ira, if you can add a link, we previously had a link, I think, how to set up forms. If anything, we will include it in the follow-up email, but it's the same tactic as just by having the same pop-up form on your website. So if you have that, you can already create another sign-up form where you tag people coming from Instagram, TikTok, anywhere else, really. What do I mean by always tag your signups? Let me see if I can quickly go back to, yes. So, okay, this one's for you. When you're creating a landing page or a pop-up form, there's a section that says behavior and then audience management. So you go into that and then you add a tag. So what it means is anyone who will sign up through that form, we will add a little label, a little tag saying, hey, they came from that channel. They came from that campaign. So that now you have a segment of people that you know came from that campaign. And you can talk to them differently. You can have a segment. So tag is just letting you know where the person came from, where did they sign up, and you have the extra point of data on that person. Is there a way to integrate the Omnisend sign-up link landing page to Linktree? Yes, you get a new URL, and then it should be able just to integrate as any link there as well. Hannah, if you're having any issues, just contact our support team. They're open 24/7, so we will help you out with that as well. Okay, so new to this, welcome to the team. Yes, so the final reminder here as well is that you will receive the recording of this webinar in a couple of days. You will receive the slides, all the resources that we have mentioned throughout. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I had a blast. I hope you learned something. Again, tag your sources, tag your subscribers. And I hope to see you soon. We're about to launch the next roster for upcoming month of new webinars. So I hope to see you there. Thank you, everyone. And I'll see you soon. Bye.